So let's just start with the weekend. Is that the craziest game you've been involved with since your time at the club?
Definitely, obviously it's the biggest, and I don't think you could write a script better if you tried with how it went on Saturday and how the season's gone in general. To then be 2-0 down at half time and score near enough the last kick of the game to make it 2-2, and then the last kick of extra time. It reminded me of last year, being on the opposite side of it last year, and I think it's a lot nicer being on this side of it this year.
Something that I noticed, having gone into 2-0 down, the fans, the reaction from the fans was extraordinary. It was like you were 2-0 up. And the curse of the purse was struck again. But that second half display, is that further proof that this team is no ordinary Notts County team? There's something special with this group of players.
Definitely, I think had this had been last year, we went 2-0 down at half time, the fans may have written us off, but this year there's a different atmosphere and different mentality within the club, but not just us, but like you say, the fans, they still believed in us and knew that we could get the job done even though we were 2-0 down, which is a massive credit to them and to everyone here who's sort of changed that mentality. But yeah, I'm just so glad that we got through and we've got a big weekend to plan for now.
There have been some extraordinary games throughout the course of the season, but did that feel as the most pivotal for you, given the heightened emotion and what was at stake in the fixture, or do any other in the league spring to mind?
I think it's because you've played 46 games to play a one-off 90-minute game. I think it just means so much to everyone that we were 2-0 down and we've managed to come back and face a bit of adversity, and against a team who've got the best defensive record in the league, who don't really concede many goals, and we've went and scored two in the second half. I just think, like you say, it shows what a special group we have here, and what a great day Saturday was to do that. And the two lads that have scored who haven't scored all season, I think that just sums it up as well. Everyone plays their part when it matters, and the two lads stepped up when it really mattered on Saturday and helped us out massively.
Yeah, you just mentioned the importance of those goals, but something that perhaps went slightly under the radar was in extra time, Aaron the man produced an unbelievable tackle to clear the ball behind. Just how important was that, along with the goals as well?
Well, if you don't make that tackle, then we're 3-2 down with 5 minutes to go, and then we're back to square one. So for me, that tackle's just as important, if not more important, as a goal. Really, it sort of set the tone for the last 5 minutes, and maybe give us a little bit of a kick up the backside to really push on and look for that winning goal.
You've been at this stage of the playoffs with Torquay reaching the final 2 years ago. How can you use that experience of that defeat in this weekend's final?
Definitely, I think obviously that season was very different to this one. The points tally weren't as big, we weren't as dominating in games as what we have been this year. So I think, yeah, reflecting on that, this year we're a different kettle of fish. Like we're a different breed, sort of thing. With the way we've been playing all season and the mentality we have here is that a little bit better, and it's on a bit of a bigger stage this time, so there'll be a little bit more nerves and things like that. And as for me, I'll be playing centre half and not left wing this time, so I think there'll be a little bit more pressure on myself to play well in my position. So I honestly, I just can't wait for it, and I'm chomping at the bit to get going and get the Saturday as quick as possible, really.
As you mentioned there, it's at Wembley this week, and the last one that you played in the final was at Ashton Gate. How much are you and the players relishing the opportunity to play in a stadium that is classed as the home of football?
Of course, I think it can be some people's one and only opportunity to play in Wembley for the full career, and for me, it might be the only time I get to lead the lads out at Wembley. Who knows? So, honestly, I can't wait to take them first steps out of the tunnel and lead the lads on the pitch. I think everyone is really looking forward to it, and a few of the lads have obviously been here 3 years ago with Notts when it was COVID, so it's going to be slightly different, and I think the fans can play a big part in helping us get over the line, definitely.
And then just finally for me, it's been an extraordinary season and a special one to be a part of. What would it mean for you after everything that's gone on, his captain decide to return to the Football League?
I don't think there'll be any words to put in perspective how much it's going to mean to me come come 5:30 on Saturday evening. I think if we got hold of that trophy, it's just going to be one of them moments that you just look on for the rest of your life and enjoy it so fondly. Especially taking a club like Notts back to the Football League where they belong would be absolutely incredible.
Thank you as always for your time, Cammy, and good luck this weekend.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Over to you, Jake from Notts TV.
Hi Carl, how are you? You well?
Yes, good, thank you.
Good stuff. Just a few follow-ups from what's already been asked, really. I mean, among the players after the incredible occasion of Sunday, what's the mood been like and how preparation's gone so far? I know, of course, there's still a long way to go till Saturday afternoon, but how's everything looking in the run-up?
Yeah, good. Just the same old, same as every week. We don't treat it any differently because it's a big occasion. We just do the right things and we keep working on what we've been working on all season and pushing towards Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say, has it been the case that it's just a case of, you're not trying to play the occasion and preparing differently, but it's just you prepare for it like any other game and that there's not anything differently that you're doing in the run-up to it? Or?
No, just same back to work, doing the same stuff day in, day out and keeping the same routines and the same good habits that we've processed over the full season. So just as normal.
Great stuff, and of course it is local derby against Chesterfield on Saturday in such a big stadium. What are you expecting from the game itself?
Yeah, I can't wait. I think it's probably going to be the biggest playoff final the National League's seen by the looks of it for numbers wise, and you couldn't have probably picked any two clubs that are bigger in this league at this point in time. So it should be a well packed out Wembley and two good teams finish second and third. So we both know that we've both had a good season and can't wait to crack on with it really.
Yeah, Notts County and Chesterfield has always been a fierce game. What are some of the key things from the couple of clashes from earlier in the season that you've learned from them, and what will you need to do well in this game from your perspective to get the win? I
think we've come on a lot since the beginning of the season. Obviously, again, a game where we were 2-0 down, we come back to draw that game and really we should have ended up winning it in the end, and we went to their place and we beat them 2-1. We know they've got a lot of good individual players that can do some damage if you let them to. So we know our sort of roles and responsibilities and how we're going to manage players and the game, the occasion and all that. So we'd like to think that we can control the game in large spells over the game. We understand it's Wembley, so it probably isn't always going to go your own way with everything that's going on in the atmosphere and things like that. But we're hoping that we can sort of put our stamp on the game and really go about it how we've gone about the other 46 games this season by controlling the rhythm and the tempo of the game.
Sure, and of course, you mentioned there a little bit about the nerves. Will it be the case whoever plays the occasion better, or is it a case of, like you say, just focusing on what you do and trying to get the result that way?
I think, of course, there's always going to be nerves, and you just got to try and turn them nerves into excitement as quickly as you can. Obviously, lads are all professional. I think once that whistle goes, it's going to be a case of it's game time and everyone's focused and you sort of turn the noise off a little bit behind you. But yeah, my message is just to try and get the lads turn that nervous energy into excitement as quickly as possible and just do what we've been doing all year and are well drilled. So it's not a case of we're turning up and not sure how it's going to go. We have a plan and a vision of how we want the game to go, which we've been doing all season. So fingers crossed it'll go how we want.
And just finally, you mentioned that would be the message to your colleagues, your teammates. What would be, as the skipper of Notts County, what would your message to the fans be ahead of such a big occasion as well?
Enjoy the day out. There might not be many times when you get to go to Wembley with your team and make as much noise as you possibly can, because it helps energise the lads, and we definitely hear it and we definitely welcome that. With Sunday was a brilliant atmosphere, and they sort of set the bar for how it should be for the forthcoming seasons with the atmosphere and how well they set the stage. And I think Wembley's just going to be a greater amount of them, so it's going to be a lot louder and a lot noisier hopefully. So can't wait.
That's brilliant. Best of luck for the weekend.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Mark from ITV.
Hi Carl, good to see you. Hope you're well.
Thank you, mate. All right.
Yeah, fine, thanks. Just curious how long it takes you physically and mentally to recover from a game like the semi-final, and how vital it might be to put that kind of game to bed straight away when we've got a massive game coming up so soon after.
Yeah, of course. We had the day off after Sunday to recover. I think emotionally it'll take you maybe a little bit longer to recover than it does physically with a game like that. I kept getting goosebumps and sort of teary-eyed on Sunday night, just thinking back to the game and how much it actually means to everyone to have a chance of getting promoted and going to Wembley. So as soon as we come in the doors on Tuesday, that's it. It's forgotten about. We review the game in the morning and then it's bang back to work. We're doing everything right to recover properly for the game on Saturday.
Those emotions that you talk about, the pressure and expectation on you and the rest of the players and the gaffer himself must be absolutely massive. Not just because of how the season finished and the points record and other records that fell, but just because of the status and stature of the club. I mean, at times, does it feel quite unbearable, that pressure, or is it something that you can also embrace as well?
No, I think it's something as a footballer, if you want to play at the highest level you possibly can, you just have to get used to that pressure and deal with it. I think the gaffer does very well at moving the pressure from us to himself, and he does that by in the way we train and how we work out our patterns in training. And we all know how black and white the sort of script is for us and how we need to do things. So like I say, you've just got to take that pressure with both hands and just enjoy it really. I think the more pressure the better it is, the more focused you have to be, the more concentrated you have to be. So for me, I can't wait. I can't wait for Saturday to come, and all that pressure can only be a good thing for everyone.
You can't exactly rehearse though for the occasion as such, because of the atmosphere, because of where it's being played. It's not something that you can necessarily prepare for. So how do you prevent yourself, the other players, from being overrun by the occasion?
Well, at the end of the day, it's 11 versus 11, and who can put the ball in the back of their net more than they can put it in ours. We've done it for 46 games this season, and we know exactly how we want to play the games and how we want to control the games. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people there, 10,000, 80,000, whatever it is. It's all it is just background noise. We know black and white on the pitch what we need to do. We know our patterns. We know how we play. We don't leave anything to chance. So would like to think it'll be very very straightforward in how we want to play, and just trying to limit Chesterfield to their chances, because we know they've got good players and they can do some damage if you let them. But the way in which we want to play, we can hopefully stop that.
Just a couple more from me. I know that you've been in a final like this before, and then there's a handful of players that played against Harrogate Town a few years ago. Very different circumstances again, as we've touched upon, because there were no fans allowed that day at Wembley. Have the players that were there that day, have they spoken about the kind of the pressure and what the day involves, and have you gone to them for guidance, that kind of thing? Because obviously, to play at Wembley in that kind of occasion, as you say, sometimes it can be a once in a lifetime thing.
No, I think that day's probably scarred quite a few of the lads pretty badly with how it went that season. They looked like they were probably going to catch Barrow before the COVID set in and the league stopped. So for them to then come back a few months later, do the playoffs and then get beat in the final is probably quite a bad feeling. So they don't really bring that up much. We've got lads in the team who know how to get promoted and know what it takes. So again, it's just going to be relishing the day and enjoying it as much as possible, and try and take as much chance out of the game as we possibly can.
Just a final one on the fans. I know you've given a message to them already, but I don't know if you're aware, you may well be aware of the difficulties that Notts County fans and Chesterfield fans will face just to get down to Wembley to support both sides, obviously with the strikes and one thing and another. I mean, is this something that the players are aware of? That obviously you won't take the support for granted. Those that manage to get down there will have put in an awful lot of effort and money just to be there. What does that feel like as well?
Not if everyone's aware. I don't think a train strike could have come on a worse day, to be honest. Obviously, we're all trying to get our families there, and there's a lot of each individual's families trying to get there at the same time. So we all know how much it means to them and how expensive it is to get down there for a day out. So all we can do is try and win the game and do them proud.
Good luck, all the best.
Cheers, thank you.
Kit from the Times.
I can't
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, mate, got you.
Lovely. I just wanted to pick up on something you said a few minutes ago about this is probably the biggest National League playoff final ever, and can you take kind of any solace and pride in what you've done to kind of raise the profile of the National League both last weekend and across the season, or is it as simple as you just want to get promoted and that's the end of the story?
Well, I think the whole top and bottom of it is trying to get promoted, and that's the only thing on our minds. I think if we get promoted and then we look back in a few years' time, then you can sort of maybe look at it and think, oh, what a great thing us, Chesterfield, Wrexham, all the other teams have done and raising the profile for non-league. But our only focus and aim is to just get promoted, and then we can look back on this in a few years, hopefully.
And obviously the league table, quite a big gap between you and Chesterfield. Does that give you confidence, or is that more adding pressure?
I think it's a one-off game. I don't think that we can take too much from it. We've just got to try our best and see where that leaves us. One-off games are very difficult, especially at Wembley, so we'll see how it goes.
That's all from me, thank you.
Lovely, cheers. Got any more, Steve?
Kieran from the Mirror.
Hello, Tar, you well?
Yes, good, thank you.
I just wanted to touch on a point you made earlier about sort of the mood in the dressing room. What has it really been like this week, obviously after what it has been, what was a sort of enthralling game on Saturday? Has it just been sort of, normal service resumed, or has there been a bit more excitement, going to Wembley, or, what has it been like in there?
It's been great. The atmosphere is really good. The main overriding emotion is excitement, and lads can't wait to get to Wembley and take it all in and enjoy the day. Like I said, I don't think you could have written a better story of how the game went on Sunday. So for us, that was probably the best possible scenario of winning a playoff semi-final. The emotion, the excitement afterwards was unbelievable. So everyone just can't wait to get started on Saturday.
You're hoping it's a bit more routine than Sunday though on Saturday against Chesterfield?
Say that again, sorry?
You're hoping it's a bit more routine on Saturday rather than the enthrall, what it was?
Yeah, I think that'll be better for the nerves and for everyone's heart, I think. We'd love it to be routine, but we know what Chesterfield are about, so we're not expecting it to be routine. We know we're in for a tough game, so we're preparing for a real hard 90 minutes, and hopefully that's all it takes.
Cheers, Kev. Go.
Thank you.
Josh from Global.
Not from me, thanks.
Okay, good. Henry from the Daily Mail.
Hi, just one from me. Just wondering what preparation or thought has been put into penalties this week in training. Have you guys been practicing? Are you prepared to step up and take one if required?
Yes, we've been doing practice since last week. So we've done a few penalties here and there, and tried to make it as realistic as possible. Walking from the halfway line, working through your routine, getting the order sorted and things like that. So we'll try to do as much as you possibly can, but I think it's a little bit different when you've probably got 40,000 people cheering you on and or 40,000 people booing you. It's probably going to be a little bit more pressure with tired legs and after 120 minutes. But the best way you can be prepared is by having your routine and knowing exactly what you're going to do. So that's what we have been doing, yeah.
Is it quite nice that, or not nice, but reassuring knowing that both you and Chesterfield have come through extra time, whereas you think maybe if you'd have gone through the slog of it against Boreham Wood and then they had cruised through in 90 minutes, but at least you're going off a pretty even playing field?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's always better if we play extra time that they have as well, so we know that if we're tired, they're just as tired as us as well, and now it's about which team can recover the best this week and put themselves in the best sort of physical form they can be in for Saturday's match.
Lovely, all from me, thank you.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Nick, Press Association. Nick, anything from you? Okay, Paul Taylor, The Athletic.
Thanks. Hi, how you doing? You okay?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. Just a couple of quick ones. I mean, I'm sure winning promotion is your only priority, but I just wonder how much pride you take in the kind of identity and the style of football you've played this season. You know, you play a really good brand of football, and watching you's been quite entertaining. Do you enjoy being part of that?
Yeah, definitely. It's as a ball playing defender, it's always nice to be involved in teams that play some good football. So, like that's been mentioned before, I think we've shed a light on the National League this year, not only with the way in which we've battled with Wrexham, but the way in which we've gone about that and how we play football. We've played football which is a higher standard than of the National League typically, which I think a lot of people have enjoyed, and a lot of fans, like when you travel away, are always so sort of supportive and congratulatory of how well we play football. So of course it's been great to be a part of, and I think it is one of them things where you may look back on in your career when you've retired and you think, oh wow, that was a real amazing part of my career that I probably wish you could have more of. So for me, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Again, I'm sure there's a dozen other reasons why you'd want to win promotion more, but I just wonder if it'd be quite nice for you to resume that kind of rivalry with Wrexham again next season in League Two.
I think so, yeah. I think we'll, if we get promoted, we'll be going up and we think, right, well, we owe you one now. It's our turn to go and win the league. So it would be nice to continue that sort of rivalry that we've created this season. But the first thing is getting the job done on Saturday, and we can't look too far ahead or past that. It's just getting ready for Saturday and that 90 or 120 minutes that's ahead of us.
Just finally, you've got such a good group of players together, a good team, and you sense that it feels like quite a special group looking from the outside in. How much would promotion help you to try and keep that group together, give you a better chance of staying together as a team next season, perhaps?
I think that's pivotal. I think we know there's a lot of lads here that could easily play a lot higher level. So being promoted is one step closer to getting as high as you possibly want to be for your career, and I think that'll help keep lads together with the gaffer and how he wants to play. I think it's what everyone wants. Everyone wants to try and keep this group together and try and progress this group as far as and as high as we want, as we've got a lot of good lads who can play a hell of a lot higher, and I'm sure with their aspirations that's what they want to do as well.
Brilliant. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And then just finally, is it Ryan?
Yeah, hi Kyle, hope you're well.
Hello mate.
You've been at Notts County since 2021, but just on the manager, since Luke's been here, what differences has he made to the players and the feel of the players compared to what it was like before?
He's made a massive difference, I think, from day one when he come in. He slowly but surely completely changed the mentality around the group and how we do things. You know, at times it can get a little bit giddy in training and people sort of taking the mick out of each other and things like that. But since he's come in and he's tried to knock that out of us and make sure training's a safe place for everyone to try and be happy to make mistakes and not sort of be scared to try and make their mistakes because they know they're going to get the mick taken out of them. Where now as we make a mistake, we're like, right, okay, that's fine, come on, next one, like, let's go again, let's keep trying to get better and keep getting better. And that slow shift of mentality, I think, has been seen throughout the full season. I mean, it's not a coincidence why we got 107 points. It doesn't just happen. The coaching and everything like that has been absolutely top drawer, and it couldn't have really asked for anything better.
And you've obviously won the National League South with Torquay, but Saturday must be the big one for you. Would you class it as your greatest footballing achievement if you do get that one over the line?
Absolutely, I don't think there can be much that'll top leading a club like Notts County back to the Football League, especially being captain as well. I think that just puts the icing on the cake and really tops it off for me. I really can't wait to lead the lads out on Saturday and hopefully put a good performance in and get that promotion over the line.